welcome to Raymies Garage. Here we are in this car here. We've got a wee bit of a Honda Civic that's got a failed MOT, and it's got a few bulbs out, and it's got a broken front and near side spring. So the plan is to take the spring off. I think it's on a strut, and we need to replace a couple of drop links on that, get some bulbs on it, get it back up to the MOT station and get it MOT'd for number 2, son. So we shall carry on and see how we get on.
It might be obvious, but it might not be, you know.
I know. I'll get the camera in, see if we can see. So there, it's there. I get some light on that. So that's where the spring's broken, which is fine. So I'll need to take this strut out, which looks a bit of a nightmare with the rust on it.
I think an overnight soaking of WD
Yeah.
would be in order.
So we're going to change these drop links here, both sides. I did say there were a bit of play in them, which is fair enough. The discs are actually okay in this car, so that'll give us a chance to maybe clean this up as well and take it for there. So that's just an inspection. We'll just get the parts, which is a new spring. I can see it now, see it.
Should be able to move it, eh?
No, I should be able to move that. Okie doke, so we'll get this back on again, get the parts, we'll get that soaked, and we shall change the spring. So this is us with the Honda Civic. We're going to remove the strut here because we've got a broken spring, a new spring in it. I've lubricated all these rusty bolts and removed all the cowling here up at the top end of the strut. So we'll give that a clean. We'll get these 4 bolts loose. We'll put some lubricant on there and let sit for a while, and we'll see if we can get these bolts off and get the strut out and get the spring off. So after a wee bit of jiggery pokery, we got that bolt off. We got this out, and we got these 2 big bolts slack, although not off yet, and there's one down here. The problem we've got is these link arms, where there's a hex nut here, or bolt with a nut on it. They are turning, but these have stripped, so it looks like both of them are stripped, so I can't get another one in there. So the only alternative is to try and cut this one off with an angle grinder so that the whole strut lifts out. So we'll get the angle grinder onto that first of all, and we shouldn't damage that. That will allow us to take the strut out once it's disconnected from here and here. Okay. So that's that off. I'll cut another wee bit off. there we go, I've got that one off. So that should help us to get the strut out. Next we'll get these two bigger bolts off. So I've got the air jack under there just for a bit of support. I'll just take this last bottom bolt out. I've left the other bolt in. So these are coming off a lot easier than I thought they would come off. Second bolt out, so I'll just give this one a wee tap. So that's going to come out easily. The bolt's actually looking quite good condition, just that end part is always a worry. Now this bolt here, so in case we damage the thread. It's a wee bit tighter, that one. Just pump that jack a wee bit up. Down. There we go. That's the strut loosened from this end. We've got that bar on it, so we'll get up top side and we'll take the 4 bolts out and see if we can pull this strut out. So these are the 3 nuts holding it on. Like so. Zip them off, I think. Just leave that one on. Trying to get to that one. See, it's starting to slacken now, so just make sure that's on. Hold that. The last one, so I'm holding the strut underneath. See if I can get that one up. And there we go. Yeah, so struts out. I'm just going to try and move that over here. I'll get my camera down. So watching this. Give us some space. There we have the strut out. It looks okay, that top mounting. Bring this over here. And you can see where the spring's broken, and that's what we're going to do next, is to try and compress this spring a wee bit and get that off. That's us got the strut off. I've got an 18mm here and an H6, which is a hex 6 for in there. What we need to do is compress this spring to allow us to take that top mount off, get the spring out, and we'll tidy this up a wee bit. A wee bit of a wire brush on that, and we'll get this off. Just have to grind that off. So I'll set up the spring compressor to see if we can press that. There's two different ones I've got. The ones we used the last time on a BMW where we were taking the spring off was a bit harum scarum, and it's not a great idea when you're dealing with kind of high tension springs like that. Anyway, we'll get it set up on the vise. We'll get the new spring tensioner or compressor on that, and we'll see if we can get this off. This is where new spring compressors, not perfect, I know that, they look a wee bit more substantial and robust than the older ones I've got, which are in here somewhere, which I can't really bother looking at. These ones here, they might help in a way, but they're not great. A bit dodgy indeed. However, these ones look a bit more substantial. The top hook hooks onto the spring, and this one here actually clamps the spring, and it's screwed down by here, and all you've got to do is screw each end, and we're just going to compress that part of the spring to get this off. So I'm going to compress away. I'm just going to use an open-ended spanner, like so, and you'll see that bringing that down. Just do both ends evenly. And then if you're doing this, just be pretty careful, because it can be a bit sketchy. I think this bit here is just to kind of stabilise it a wee bit. I'm not sure how well it's actually working, but I definitely see the spring compressing, which feels an awful lot easier than these death traps, shall we call them. And there you go, I don't know if you had that pop down there. So we're quite slack there now. That feels pretty substantial. Never really had to tighten it much, although the spring is actually broken. So what I'll do now is I'll get my 18mm nut on here and screw that whilst trying to hold this hex, which in itself will be quite difficult. However, sorry, I'm pointing the camera there, so 18 there, and we're hex in the middle, and we'll start to unscrew that to allow us to give the strut, to get the strut mounting off, and thus take the spring off. Unfortunately, my parts guys just arrived with a new spring and new drop link, so hopefully today we should get this job done and get the car back for its MOT, because this is what it failed on. So I've got it in the vise just to try and stabilise it a wee bit for me, and I can now just slacken this, hopefully. Not the best tool, but it seems to be working. Feels a bit slack. So there we have the nut off. Let's keep that there now. Just lift that off a bit. Okay. So that'll allow us to take the strut out. go. So that's us get the strut out, which is fine. And just able to take this off. It turns like that. That top strut mount looks okay. What I now need to do is just decompress this spring a bit. Put it over there. 19. Silver spanner. That one, and that one's out. Take this off here. This one out. Two. And then we have a broken spring. Quite common, and we'll go and check the new spring. So we'll get this stuff just to the side. Keep that there. We'll get our other spring in. So there's our new spring. Just checking if there's a top and bottom of that spring, because sometimes it looks like it there. Just check that. Yeah, so it looks like that side. So that side's the top. So now we need to try and compress this spring to allow us to get into the strut. This is me just trying to pull it down square. I think that's doing it now. Pretty confident with these clamps, these bits here, it's not going to let go. I'm just keeping an eye on the top ones, these two here. So that's allowed us to put that in quite a bit there. What size were you? 18? That's in the right position. That's fine, that's in a good position there. So if anything happens, it's not coming off anyway, that's for sure. Yeah, so pretty tight, so I'll just check. It looks pretty good. So now all I've got to do is release the tension on the spring compressors nice and evenly. Make sure all the bits of the spring, which are all sitting in a good position, top spring, and I'm hoping that's not a problem down here. That's fine. I can move that now. That's one off. Springs in the right position, springs in the right position. And this feels tight, isn't it? Just like this way. Two off. So there we have the strut back in position again. That's sitting on its lip there, which is good. This is sitting up here fine in the correct position. So I just wanted to check I'll be able to turn that. If it's out of position, I should be able to, yeah. And the boot will eventually pop on there. That's that, guys. So I must admit, these new spring compressors feel a lot more safe, although it's always sketchy to do this, but they certainly feel a lot more safer than these other type. I don't know what you've done with them. These type here, these are a bit sketchy. So we now will clean this up here and we'll get the strut back on the car. The only other thing we have to do is the two drop links, so I might have to cut off the other side. So drop link on this side and drop link on that side. And that's us. We will shall call our local friendly garage to put it through its MOT again, because it only failed on this broken spring and a couple of bulbs. The new strut, I'm just going to try and hold it up in position. Put a couple of nuts on it up here. So that's one nut on. Kept it kind of slack so I can turn that into position, and now I shall attempt to put these bolts back in. To go up a wee bit. Just going to jack that up a fraction. Looks pretty good. Actually, it could come down a wee bit. So that's one bolt in, and the other one probably needs to be. And so that's the two in. Tight on that side. Go for this 19. Not on it. And got them tightened up in a minute. And there. So that's day 2 on, which is fine. Now I need this wheel in here, which goes on that side. I think where that goes. Oh, it goes down there. It goes there. It sits in here. It must go that side. Now I'm going to use some of this rust blocker just in the bottom of the spring, because that's where they seep your rust. Now, I've got one drop link on. Now I need to put the other one on, so I'll just adjust that down a wee bit. Before I do that, I shall tighten up these ones here. Tighten them up. I think these are 14. Yep. So that's day 3 tight, and that's tight. I'll get my wee cap back on. Tidy that up later. So I'm just putting the drop links on. I've just lifted the suspension up a wee bit to get the bottom one on. Just fairly straightforward. So that one on. This one. Just check them with the ratchet. Pretty tight. Pretty tight. So that's that. That's on, that's on. They're on, they're on. All their clips are back in again. Now I just need to put the wheel on this side, and we'll get the other drop link off on the other side. This is the other side. This is turning a wee bit, this one here, but that one's solid, so I think I'm going to try and cut that one off. Make an attempt at turning this one off. Other than that, I think I'll need to try and cut this off as well. They're so rusted, so I'm going to get the angle grinder out again and we'll cut this one off. So let's see if we can cut this off. I'm going to go for it there. Difficult. I'm wondering if I've got a small enough disc to get in there. Or we try put that in. I need to get the smaller one. I can't see that turning, to be honest with you. And I don't have the proper bits in my Dremel to get that off. Cutting it off at the back end is not a great idea because it ends up this sticks on. Let's try and hammer something in there, see if we can get it to turn. Right. It's turning that. Both things turning right, so at least it's getting some kind of grip. Right, let me think about how I'm going to cut that off. Now, I don't know if this has got the power to do that. We'll have a go. Yeah, I actually cut into it not too bad. I'll maybe try another one there. I'm sure I'll get thicker discs in that. Hold on. Disc number 2. Let's see if we can get in there with that. I'm just trying to watch my angles here so I try not break it. And it's away. I actually cut into it not too bad. I'll just have to persevere, change the discs multiple times because I don't think I've got another option here. So I broke about 10 discs, so I'm going to try and see if I can chisel it off. Don't think this will work because I don't think my compressor's powerful enough to do this, but we'll give it a go. After lots of chiselling and grinding, we managed to get it off. I got it off eventually with my air hammer and a chisel, and that's us ready to put the new one on, which is great. It's probably took me longer to do that than change the strut. So let's get the new drop link. Stick this on. The new one, I mean, for 2 bolts, it's just unbelievable the amount of time that takes to do that. Stick that bolt on there. I've done this the last time, I bet that's just sticking it on the bottom first, then get the air jack and just lift the suspension a fraction to let that go in there. So, air line to the air jack, close valve, let's see if you can see that. Probably the sun's blinding us there, so I've got that there. Just got to jack the suspension up a fraction, and that's us in. These are nylon lock nuts that are on that. So I shall get this. Oh, it's a different size. It's 15. It might be even small. Let's go for 17. I think it was the last time. We'll buzz them on. Sure the one's on okay. And took the nut off, Raymies, you idiot. Don't want to strip it now, do I? After all that. Okay. That's on. It's fine on the bottom one. Let's see that one. nip up with the socket or the ratchet by hand. It's tight. It's tight. So that took us a long time to get that off because we had to cut these off. See Mr. Spock down here investigating for us. So that's on, that's on. I just need to put the wheel back on and drop this jack. Should have to come down a little bit. So get the wheel back on again, nip over and get a bulb, and I'll contact the garage and get its MOT done again. Hopefully it should be okay this time. So that's us done with the Honda Civic. We've put a new spring in this side, took the strut off, new drop link in that side, new drop link in that side. We'll put all the cowling back on, all the plastic, a few new clips in there, all nice and tight, and that's about us. So not a Range Rover, but a wee job I had to do for my son's car while he suns it up in Dubai. Enjoys himself, but here we are doing a wee job for our boy, and I'll give the garage a phone, get it back into its MOT. Everything should be good, and we'll take it from there. Hope you enjoyed that video, a wee bit different, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers for now.